For y'all explaining where white people come from. I made a video years ago about where white people come from. I think YouTube took it down or whatever, or they took it off my last channel. So I'm gonna just go ahead and redo this again. This stuff is not hard. If you really want to gain wisdom, just open up the book and read, and a lot of this stuff is self-explanatory. You just gotta have the discipline to sit down and actually read all of it, right? And you got to learn to spot the deception. So let me explain where they come from again and how this all makes sense. When we go to Genesis 10 and God was explaining Noah's son, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, he spoke about the sons of Japheth. Now, if you read in the book, mostly the Old Testament, you hardly ever hear Japheth's sons spoke about. It's like they mention them here and there, little droplets of them, but they vanish in the story. How do you have this entire nation just vanish in a story? But when you go to the New Testament, which is Greek, his sons is spoke about heavily. They spoke about heavily. It's like whoever wrote the New Testament wanted to include Japheth so badly into this story. I know a lot of y'all think I'm crazy, but again, I really pay attention to the writing and the dialect. But anyway, we're going to do it like this, right? He spoke about his son, Japhen. Okay? This is the easy to read version, by the way, and I'll explain in a minute. And it says, all the people who lived in the area around the Mediterranean Sea came from these sons of Japheth. The people separated and went to different countries according to the languages, families, and nations. So right here in the easy to read version, it says that all Javan's sons or Japheth's sons lived in the area around the Mediterranean Sea. So they lived around the Mediterranean Sea in those areas, right? This the NIV version. Now, let me explain something to y'all. They got different translations for one of the sons of Javion or Javan, however you want to say it. It's either this word or it's this word. Now pay attention to this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read it, the NIV version. Elisha, Tarsha, the Cuttites, and the Ronites. From these, the Maritime, whatever, however you want to say it, I really do not care. But it has to do marine, like sea surfing or some shit like that. From these, the maritime people spread out into their territories by clans within their nation, each with its own language. Pay attention to this, right? From these, the maritime people spread out into their territories by their clans within their nations, each with its own language. Now, the Ronites, that is the Greeks. That is the Greeks. Let me explain to y'all. So, like it said, let me show y'all. Around the Mediterranean Sea. Go to a map. These are the surrounding areas around the Mediterranean Sea. Just making sense to y'all. So God is speaking about the Europeans. They are the sons of Japheth. Okay? But look, I want to show y'all something else. He spoke about roads, the Rodomites, right? That is the Greeks. The Rodanites are the Greeks. In the beginning, when the nations was being made, they didn't have a country name. They went by their clan name. Again, let's go back. They went by their clan, the Rodanites, who we now know are the Greeks. Just like us black people who are Hebrews, we come from Shem, right? Who had his son. Excuse me. I messed that up. But anyway, y'all get what I'm saying. We come from Eber. All right. So that's where the Hebrews come from. Let me slow it down for y'all. I'm gonna slow it down for y'all. All right. Now let's go back. Let's go back. We do it like this. So this has to do with sea people, people who were highly skilled at navy, making boats, navy ships. They were skilled at traveling the seas, navigating the seas. So God is telling you that the people of Japheth were skilled at making navy ships and traveling the sea. Now, again, we look at a map, all the places over here, like Babylon and Assyria and all that, they don't have no fucking sea over there. So they weren't really building. We know Assyria built ships, but they weren't traveling the seas and shit because it's no fucking water over there. There's no sea over there. There's no sea over there. So we know God not talking about them. And again, you can just go back to Genesis 10 and you can see that he's not talking about them because he explains it when he's talking about him. Again, let me slow this down. Let me slow this down. All right. When you look at the Marines, the United States Marines, their strongest military branch, whether you want to say it's the Navy or whatever, but as you can see, the United States pride themselves on sea. Well, no, I would say air. I would say air. But sea is not that far. And as you can see, the eagle. So again, God said that the sons of Japheth were skilled at sea, at traveling the seas, navigating the seas. They were building ships and traveling the world with those ships. And you see it today. When you look at all these European countries, what do they do today? Still to this day, they build up these navy ships and they go around the world. They go to Antarctica and all these other places to explore. This is who God was talking about, the sons of Javan, but not all of his sons, though. Again, if I'm wrong, y'all can prove me wrong in the comment section because I already showed proof that they're not the Edomites. Again, when you look at the back of a dollar bill, why y'all think it's written in Greek letters? So let's do it like this, right? You got the New Testament. You got the New Testament that's written in Greek letters. That's number one. You got the American dollar that is written in Greek letters. That's number two. Now again, we speak English. They speak Greek. You have to ask yourself, did English become the modern day one language so the rest of the nations can understand each other? Because when you go around the world, not too many people have a hard time speaking English. I mean, if you really want to train yourself, all right? Everything in America is highly Greek influence, from the science to the art. All of that shit is a Greek influence. Again, Greek members, black Greek members, all their fraternities and sororities and shit is Greek letter. So these people are slaves still to white people. They just try to act like they not, but they still slaves to white people. They slaves to money. So the white man still controlling them. And again, all your pastors, all these ministries and shit, a lot of them niggas was Greek members, bro. And they only care about one thing. That's the buck. That's the dollar. That's all they care about. Another thing you can see right here, you can see the tidal waves, the water waves. That's even more proof that God was talking about them. The Greeks, or some of you like to say the Romans. The Romans, Greeks, all that shit the same. So, white people, of course, are the Gentiles. And you hear your people say it all the time. They the Gentiles. Hopefully this video makes sense to y'all. I just wanted to get up and redo this video. I made a video about this years ago, but decided to redo another one. And just to show proof, this is not even, I did one back in like 2022, real talk. But this is a screenshot from 2024 that I did. And I was explaining this, the cross, all that. That's Greek. So again, I'm gonna end it off by saying this. Why is it that when you read in the Old Testament, God speaks about these people called Japheth, right? And all of a sudden, this story about his sons just disappeared. You only see in the Old Testament, you only see them focusing on these two particularly. Yeah, there's droplets of these people, but you don't really hear nothing about them until you get into the New Testament, which is Greek. That's all I gotta say, y'all. I'm out.